There's a very nice view today on Sunday the 29th of May 2011. There's an hotel in Stockholm and port, and looking further over there we've got the Vasa Museum and where the ship, 16th century ship, 17th century ship I should say, and museum, only one of its kind, still surviving in the world. The place I'm standing on now is Raoul Wallenberg's Torg. Although I think I've got that in the there. I think that's in the camera. It's rather difficult to see because although it's overcast, the sun's quite bright. Raoul Wallenberg was a Swedish diplomat who saved the lives of thousands of people in the Second World War. He was born in 1912. He came from quite a wealthy family, but and part of his education was to sort of travel around. He got educated as an architect, I think, in the United States, in Chicago. Came back to Sweden, found out it was useless. While he was there, he was sort of working, doing sort of manual labour and things like that. Although he came from quite a wealthy background. He did manage to get jobs thanks to connections within the family, one of which took him to various places around the world, including to Haifa in Palestine. And just before the Second World War broke out, he got a job as a representative in a Central European trading company, which was owned by one Hungarian gentleman who was Jewish. And with the increasing restrictions placed on his travel, he appointed Raoul to be his representative in Budapest, and so that Raoul was then quite well placed. Sometime later he found himself in the diplomatic service, and now he witnessed the deportations of Jews from Hungary in 1944, and certainly by the summer of 1944 no one would be under any illusions about what had happened. The BBC itself had actually published an account of the gas chambers in Auschwitz around the second week of June 1944. Comes from the report made by two Hungarians, Rudolf Ruba and Mr. Wetzler, who escaped from Auschwitz in May 1944. And there's absolutely no doubt as to what was happening. Wallenberg used his contacts, not only within the Nazi occupation authorities, but also within the Swedish consular contact, to issue consular passports to people. And the benefit of this was even as far as that people did not have to wear yellow stars if they had this Swedish passport, but they're now considered as Swedish citizens. Apparently, according to one eyewitness, he even went to trains which were about to depart from to Auschwitz and handed out passports there, and thus anybody who had these passports could be taken off the train or out of the collection depot. As to the veracity of that, I don't know. I haven't checked the source right back, but it seems quite outstanding that somebody actually could do that, and for this to be accepted. The amount of people he saved, I mean, it's thousands and thousands. It's not the precise numbers are not known, but there's lots and lots of people. And he stayed in Budapest until Budapest was captured by the Soviet Union. Now, in January 1945, he got a summons to appear before the Soviet general. Name, I can't remember the name. Malenkov, I think it was. And he said, well, I've been invited to Malenkov's, or maybe it was Melinsky, I can't remember. I don't know if it's as a guest or as a prisoner. As it turned out, it was as a prisoner, and then the trail goes cold. What we do know is that he ended up in Moscow without any doubt, and he was held in the Lubyanka because he shared a cell with one Nazi functionary called Richter. Richter was the person who had been in Romania and was responsible for overseeing the deportation of the Jewish population of Romania to Auschwitz. As it turned out, the Romanian Jews were not actually there, but he'd actually issued orders to that effect. So they got the humanitarian and the Nazi mass murderer in the same place. there are a number of theories as to what happened. Another thing that is known is that in 1989, Wallenberg's family received a cigarette case and other personal belongings which were found in Soviet archive, allegedly when they were putting some new shelves in. So when he was killed, it's not known. It's normally given a date around July 47 or thereabouts. The reason for this is that there are documents which suggest that he had either a heart condition which killed him, which probably means he was shot. He was interrogated, according to Richter, he was interrogated for an hour and a half. Of course, there were other people actually claimed they saw him. I once saw a program on television maybe 30 years ago. This was when his fate certainly was not known, and that he had been in Lubyanka. Some British person had claimed that he'd heard of somebody claimed to be a Swedish diplomat, but he didn't actually see his face. I presume that they were in adjoining cells or whatever. So he did die in 1947. He was 35 years old when he died. He was murdered by the Soviet Union. He saved thousands and thousands of lives, and he is rightfully remembered on this spot, and there's many places which have memorials to him, including one in London, in Argentina, in Germany. It's got a couple of streets named after him, in fact, one of which has a metro station, or U-Bahn station, I think, Westbahn, I can't remember which, in Berlin. And here we have his monument, and it says words to the effect, I'll read it, I don't have to remember words to the effect of. The road was straight when Jews were deported to death. The road was winding, dangerous and full of obstacles when Jews were trying to escape from their murderers. And you have it in many other languages. I'll read in Polish as well, just to make the point. Droga była kręta niebezpieczna i pełna przeszkód, kiedy Żydzi próbowali wywierać się mordercom. Droga była prosta, kiedy Żydom wywoziono na śmierć. In Polish it's the other way around from English, but anyway, it makes the point.